Hey everyone, I'm the Canadian Lad, and we just got some crazy reports about Avengers Doomsday trailer, and it seems like we're almost at the verge of getting our first glimpse at RDJ's Doctor Doom. So according to The Hollywood Reporter, Avengers Doomsday will not have one, not two, but 4 different trailers in the span of 4 weeks. The report says, and I quote, Disney's sending theaters 4 different trailers for the Marvel mega movie. Each will play for 1 week, before switching to the next. So if you see Fire and Ash opening weekend, you'll get trailer 1. If you go a week later, you'll get trailer 2 and so on. So here's what that means in practice. Starting December 19th, Marvel will release the first ever trailer for Avengers Doomsday exclusively in theaters with Avatar Fire and Ash. Then a week later, around Christmas Eve, we get trailer 2. Then on New Year's Eve, we get trailer 3. And finally, on January 9th, we get trailer 4. You know, I'm kinda getting goosebumps just thinking about how insane this marketing strategy is. I literally made a video a few weeks ago where I said Avengers Doomsday trailer has 2 minutes to fix 6 years. But Marvel basically said, nah, forget 2 minutes, here's 4. In that video, I tried to explain that the Avengers Doomsday trailer might just be the most important trailer in comic book history. And clearly, Marvel understands that better than anyone. Because instead of a single trailer of 2 minutes, we're essentially getting 4 trailers adding up to around 4 minutes of footage. The second I read this report from The Hollywood Reporter, I immediately thought of this lineup that Disney presented a few weeks ago in Italy, where they split the whole cast of the film in 4 different groups. The Fantastic Four, the Wakandans, the X-Men, and the new plus original Avengers. So I think the reason Marvel decided to release 4 different trailers is because each one will focus on one specific group. And if that's the case, then I'm betting that the trailer that focuses on the Avengers is gonna be the longest and the most important out of the 4. You have to admit at this point that the marketing for Doomsday has been absolutely bonkers. First, that epic Robert Downey Jr. reveal, then that 5 hours chair watch, and now this 4 trailer rollout. Now I really want to know what you lads think about this strategy of dropping 4 different trailers in the span of a month. Is it genius or overkill? What do you think? Now I don't want this video to be just about this trailer news, so let me share a brand new theory I came up with after rewatching this scene between Tony Stark and Nick Fury in Age of Ultron, which might explain why Marvel had to bring RDJ back as Doctor Doom. But before I explain, let me just take a minute to thank today's sponsor, Displate. You know that my studio is packed with Marvel artwork, with a few other fandoms sprinkled in. That's why Displate is perfect for me. They've got 200 plus officially licensed collections from brands like Marvel, Star Wars, The Witcher, One Piece, and artwork from over 40,000 independent artists. Seriously, whatever fandom you're into, there's a Displate for it. And you can even upload your own custom designs. And these things are premium. We're talking authentic holograms, master-level production quality, and printing techniques that give the artwork texture and dimension. Like you can actually feel the artwork if you touch it because of the textures. The best part is that it doesn't require any drilling. Every Displate comes with a magnetic mounting system that installs in seconds. They're sturdy, lightweight steel with clean curved edges, and they come in matte, gloss, or textured finishes, and sizes from medium to large. I personally ordered my Displates in medium size, and they ship in sustainable, gift-ready packaging. So it's perfect for treating yourself or convincing a friend to join your fandom cult. And right now, you can get a huge discount. Use the link in description or my code CanadianLad for 33% off on 1 or 2 Displates, 38% off on 3, and 40% off on 4 or more. So go check out Displate and let your fandom shine. Alright, back to the video. Marvel recently announced that Avengers Endgame is getting a theatrical re-release in September 2026. This would officially make Endgame the only MCU movie to be re-released twice. But why September though? Why not November or December, right before Doomsday comes out? So I think this specific date might be telling us something. There are multiple reports that this re-release version of Endgame will come with a brand new post-credit scene, and that scene will be directly taken from Avengers Doomsday. And because Marvel would obviously want everyone to know about and talk about this new scene, releasing Endgame in September gives the audience roughly 3 months to speculate, freak out, and build hype leading into Doomsday. We could even see a post-credit scene of just Loki who's watching the events of Endgame unfold. In fact, there's also a possibility that a full-blown trailer of Doomsday might be attached to Endgame as a post-credit scene. Now remember, originally Endgame didn't have a traditional post-credit scene. All we got was a subtle hammering sound over a black screen. Now, Kevin Feige confirmed that it was a tribute to Tony Stark building his Mark I armor in the very first Iron Man film. Now imagine if they retroactively change that tribute. The same hammering, the same RDJ, but this time we see him not working on Mark 1, but forging the armor of Doctor Doom. If they pulled it off, then some kid in the year 2040, binge-watching the entire MCU from start to finish, will be able to say that hammering sound at the end of Endgame was actually foreshadowing that Robert Downey Jr. will come back as Doctor Doom. And if you think about it, this would really turn a simple tribute into one of the greatest retroactive Easter eggs in MCU history. Now let's talk about this scene from Avengers Age of Ultron. This tweet from Josh, and you should definitely follow him and check out his channel Den of Nerds, kinda unlocked this new idea in my head. Let me play out this scene and then I'll break it down.
And I'm the man who killed the Avengers. I saw it. I didn't tell the team. How could I? Saw them all dead, Nick. Felt it. The whole world too. Because of me.
The Maximoff girl, she's working you, Stark.
Yes, for now we believe it was just Wanda playing with his head, but notice the words he used here.
I wasn't tricked. I was shown. It wasn't a nightmare. It was my legacy.
He wasn't tricked, he was shown. He was shown that he kills everyone, including the Avengers. And since we're already talking about retroactive Easter eggs, this could easily be another way Marvel explains why it had to be RDJ playing Doctor Doom. They could basically say RDJ was always meant to be Doctor Doom, but because of some intervention or timeline shift, he ended up becoming Tony Stark in the main MCU timeline. What Wanda showed him wasn't just some illusion she made up, but an actual glimpse of an alternate timeline where he really does become the monster. And don't forget, before Tony turned full hero, his nickname in the weapons industry was literally the Merchant of Death.
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
And what do you say to your other nickname, the Merchant of Death?
That's not bad.
He was profiting from war and destruction. It was only after he escaped that cave that everything started to change. Pepper kept him grounded, and later Peter gave him this new sense of responsibility as a mentor and a father figure. And slowly, all of that turned him into this selfless, sacrificing hero we saw in Endgame. So this could be another retroactive layer. In most of the timelines, Tony Stark is basically Victor Von Doom, the face of all destruction. But on Earth 616, he's the reason everyone survives. This might even explain why Doctor Strange said they only win once out of 14,605 possible outcomes. This reality is the only timeline where Tony doesn't become Doom. And with him now gone, it opens the gate for Doctor Doom from an alternate timeline to invade Earth 616. And this is why this particular line from Tony in Endgame might be implying something more than we initially thought.
What happened? If you mess with time, it tends to mess back. You'll see.
Steve just logically asked Tony what happened here after Thanos invaded Earth again. But Tony's response here indicates he obviously knows more about time dilation, time manipulation, and the consequences of messing with reality itself. Almost like he's been obsessively tinkering with time travel and alternate realities his entire life, trying to figure out what he's truly supposed to be. And maybe it all goes back to his father. Perhaps Tony never being able to connect with his father Howard always made him feel out of place. His father praising Steve Rogers over his own son might have forced him to feel like he doesn't belong in his own world. So he starts looking for answers, starts inventing technology where he could play out events from his past in a different way. And that's when Tony discovers the multiverse. But in the process, he also finds out that in those countless other timelines, his life is far more destructive and chaotic. He realizes that in those timelines, he is Victor Von Doom. And that's when Tony fully commits to being Tony Stark in this reality. He settles down, marries Pepper, has a daughter, and chooses to hold on to this version of his life as tightly as he can, because he knows exactly what he becomes everywhere else. So let me know your thoughts on this theories. I truly believe this is the reason Marvel pivoted so hard from the Kang storyline. They had all the seeds planted already. Kevin Feige knows this better than anyone. So if they were gonna move on from Jonathan Majors, this was the way to go. Don't forget, Kevin always wanted RDJ as Doctor Doom, even before he got cast as Tony Stark. So yeah, what we're about to see in the trailer might just be the best thing Marvel has made in years. And that surely deserves 4 different trailers. And with that, I'll end today's video. I'll see you lads in the next one.